Greetings fellow captains and welcome back to another episode of World of Warships with the Hivehounds. I apologise if my voice sounds a bit different. Using my PS4 mic and I'm recording this directly, hoping for a slightly better, smoother experience, and we'll be back to the regular mic for voiceovers of gameplay. Now, okay, just to let you know, I'm going to probably put this up as a community post, but to see what people prefer. But first of all, we're looking at the NAGATO, as you can see, by the giant conning tower. But yeah, I think I'm going to, whilst doing these more detailed Dockyard videos, I think we're going to go through the ship. We'll look at a reasonable gameplay. And then maybe we'll add a little fun, fast-paced montage at the end, or just turn the whole video into a really fun, fast-paced montage. I did one the other day, and it seemed to do all right. So yeah, we'll get into the nitty-gritty. So the NAGATO, how I build, and actually I just realised a glaring problem. There's nothing we can do about that. It doesn't have the rudder. Main perk aiming systems mod 1, increase or decrease dispersion of the main guns, increase secondary firing range, dispersion of secondaries also improved, and well, we haven't got torpedo launchers, but who cares? We could increase our main battery traverse at the cost of reload, but that's not good for this ship. And this is not a brawler, so you definitely don't want to be trying any secondary builds. On to the next mod. Okay, now granted, you could go for propulsion mod. Propulsion mod is pretty good. It's a very acceptable mod to use on any battleship. But particularly the Japanese, they're not really battleships, they're more battle cruisers, so they're fairly weakly armoured, so you don't want to be showing your broadside too much. So you definitely want to get your steering gears on there and narrow down that rudder shift time. And for mod slot 3, you can only have target acquisition, so we might as well put it on. Actually, let's have a look at the commander first, so you can understand the perks. Right, okay, so I have got Azura Lane Scharnhorst on here, and Andrew Cunningham. Go for Madden or maybe Sims if you don't have Scharnhorst. Scharnhorst is to improve the dispersion and obviously improving the accuracy with Cunningham. But accuracy is the ship's biggest weakness. It's got the most powerful guns at tier 6, so you wanna try and get them hitting as much as you possibly can. So flammable cannoneer to improve our range, and again very focused on accuracy. Gyrating drill bits improve your AP shell damage, which is obviously a good thing, and increase the traverse speed of your battleship's main guns. That's particularly useful when you're playing essentially a battle cruiser, where you want to be doing as a good buddy Spartan would call it, it's the dreadnought shuffle. But we're not in a dreadnought, so but we're still going to do it. It's going to be the battle cruiser booty shake from now on, yeah. So and we'll have a look at that in some gameplay, and I'll explain that in a little bit more detail. And yeah, we're losing a bit of speed, which is not ideal. You could go for crisscross. Crisscross isn't a bad perk at all. But we lose 10% of our speed. It's a relatively fast ship. Increase our damage and actually make our turrets traverse 0.3 degrees a second faster. This is a tough call because marksman improves your accuracy, but it does reduce your rudder shift time. So on second thought, isn't a bad option here. I'm fairly confident in my gameplay. I'm fairly confident that I've got the map awareness, that I won't need to make any quick emergency turns. So marksman's more of a risky playstyle, but if you're learning the ship and you're trying to get into it, try and get good games, trying to learn how the ship works, I would definitely pick on second thoughts instead, because shifting, doing the battle cruiser booty shake is going to be a key skill that you're going to definitely have to learn. And we've gone for reaching out. Secondaries are not really, like, you don't want to be brawling in this thing, so you definitely don't want to take the properly meticulous perk. Emergency specialist, yeah, maybe just improve the range. We're a full accuracy build, so having range just makes the ship better. So we have gone from will to rebuild. You can do farsight, but losing a repair party on a battleship I don't think is ever good. And of course there is fight fire with fire. Will to rebuild is generally works a lot better if you're playing divisions and you've got teammates. Fighting fire with fire is good for the current meta, where there are a lot of HE spammers. So if you tend to play more solo, I'd consider taking fight fire with fire. Unless, yeah, I'm an aggressive player, we all know this. My playstyle is to get in there and thump things as hard as I possibly can. But if you're a bit more, well, I'd like to say tactical, a bit more passive at least, and tend to hold back a little more, then will to rebuild is definitely a good option. Right, I want to quickly look to see. Okay, so there is who's the other battleship guy? I haven't even leveled him up by the looks of it. Kondo is good for survivability, as with Azurilin Fuso. Azurilin Fuso, you'd pick this if you wanted to go all out sort of survivability. It increases your maximum HP, something stupid. I tend not to run it. You do have the chance to use Arthas the Cold, but it's not really a brawler. I wouldn't suggest Arthas the Cold personally. Myself, Blind Rage, you know, you do get extra damage when your catapult fighter is up, but we've got 10% to our armor piece in all the time anyway. You do get a quicker reload on your guns, but at loss of range. He's got Porcupine. Well, I've got Porcupine on there. I don't know, Avatar of Slaughter. Yeah, you're not a heavily armoured ship, so unless you're really confident in your angles, taking an extra 25% damage to your superstructure and whatnot is definitely not one I would run with at the moment. And so I'm not even going to bother talking about him anymore. In all honesty, just wasting time. So, right, with the magic of editing, we are going to dive in. My voice is probably going to change completely because I'm using a different microphone, and yeah, we'll get into the action. So let's see what trouble we can get ourselves into. Right, okay, so here we are with the magic of editing. We've managed to skip past the whole searching for a battle and find ourselves in a battle. The wonders of the interwebs. Right, okay, so this is me. This is the NAGATO, and we are going to try and see what sort of trouble we can get ourselves into. To be honest with you, I've intentionally picked just a good match. I don't want to be putting up, I don't want to be trying to review a ship and then everyone thinking, oh right, every single match you're going to take this ship out and you're going to do 250,000 damage, you know, because quite simply, you're not. As long as you're doing your hit points worth of damage, particularly if you're firing armor piercing predominantly, you're doing well. You know, you're doing okay. Anything over that, I think for battleships, it's probably 1.5 times. So 90,000. This is purely from my perspective, but I think 90,000 is you having a good match. And here we go. We've got a Massachusetts bow tanking us. So we're gonna keep ourselves reasonably straight. We don't want to expose too much of our broadside. And he takes 5,000 off us, and we get 8,000 in return. So, you know, not the best trade in the world. It's not the worst trade in the world either. We did come slightly better off from that engagement. As you can see, right off the bat, we are getting it from all angles. There's a Bismarck who's decided sailing broadside to a NAGATO is going to be good for his health. And as you can see, with the accuracy build, even with us being quite heavily focused on accuracy, you can see our accuracy is not great. As you can imagine, that's one of the low points of the NAGATO. It might have the most powerful guns. It might be pretty fast for a battleship, but yeah, its accuracy really does hurt it. So that is something that I tend to like to focus on. But you know, we've already done 21,000 damage. We've got a salvo on that key, and we punch straight through the side of the key and score ourselves a citadel, and we get a couple more ricochets. So I don't know if he was beginning to angle, but as you can see, 36,000 we've lost. Okay, we're repairing. We're using a repair kit, but we lost about 15,000 in return. So far, although we have been exchanging hit points, the hit point exchange has been in our favour, and that's what you always want to look for. You don't want to be trying to exchange with ships. You can't do more damage to them than they can to you, because it's just going to end up hurting you. And another 8,000 damage salvo just from the front guns, and we take absolutely nothing in return for that Bismarck. Now, these aren't ideal situations for the NAGATO. The NAGATO is essentially, it's a battle cruiser. The idea is you want to be moving fast, you want to be flanking, you want to be using the rudder to get all your guns to bear and then quickly get back round and angle. But we're in a situation that Massachusetts, alright, it's moved forward, but it's not really moved far. That Bismarck and that key is also heading over here, so going out in front of them is just a bad idea, especially when there is a Bismarck broadside to you 10 kilometers out. And there we go. See, like, this is the range. 10 to 15 kilometers is ideally where you want your engagements. So we did take a little bit of damage in return from that Bismarck, but again, we are better off in the exchanges. We've got ourselves angled. We've got these big giant punchy guns, and you know, reasonably good accuracy at this range. So we're already on 68,000. That was not a good salvo because he was angled in, and yeah, you see what I mean about that side armor? We weren't angled enough, and yeah, he punished us. But we're already up to 73,000. So if we die now, we've done okay. We've not completely failed our team. But we are going to get another salvo off on him, and again, not the best, but he was angled, and there's not really a lot you can do about a well-angled Bismarck. Not much you can do about a well-angled anything, in all fairness. But he's off there. He's disappeared behind the smoke screen, and here comes Bismarck number 2. All right, let's see how Bismarck 2 is thinking. He's like, oh right, that Bismarck survived. He was sailing broadside to a NAGATO. It's clearly a good idea. And instantly starts angling, and again, you know, gets some reasonable damage, but nothing to exactly write home about. But it's consistent damage every time we're firing these guns. We're getting a couple of thousand. You know, we've lost almost 40,000 hit points, but we've done 86,000 in damage. We're watching that Bismarck. We don't want him to push, because if he pushes out on us, he has got more of a broadside, and yeah, he's going to hurt us pretty bad. And there we go, up to 90,000. So the Bismarck is turning in. Oh, I'm debating swinging the guns around here, but we're changing direction because that Bismarck is going to pop out here, and we don't want to be giving him as much broadside as we are at the moment. So there, rear turrets away. And 7,000 damage with 2 guns. And there, what was that? 12, pretty much 12,000 from a single salvo. So, you know, we're being a bit, I say we're being a bit unlucky. We're fighting heavily armoured Bismarcks right here at the moment. So the fact that that we're managing to consistently do a couple of thousand damage with every single salvo we fire is going well. And as you can see, I'm trying getting that battle cruiser booty shake in there. See how I'm trying to make myself as narrow as I can when he's returning fire. And what we do now, we know that he is reloading. We know he's not going to be able to shoot, so we're going to let the angle drift without really steering, and be prepared to turn back in as we get one of our guns knocked out. And there we go. Bismarck number 1 done. Dead in the water. That's 120,000. So we've almost doubled our hit points, but we have used both of our repair kits. And this is where the key decides to enter the fray. And oof, what was that? I think that's the Massachusetts. Or was that the other? Yeah, the Massachusetts has eventually decided to venture outside of his comfort zone, but we get taken out by old shooter something or other. And that is us done for this match. To be honest with you, I didn't record the whole thing because it was kind of slow, but that was just to give you a flavour of I think it highlighted both the strengths and the weaknesses. So it's consistent good damage, but weak side armour, so don't expose it. And also the rear's a little bit weak, specifically to 16-inch guns, so do be aware of that. So yeah, sod it. I decided I'm going to do something a little bit different and prepare for some madness to ensue.
It won't go away. I've got that feeling rushing through my body. I know that it is here to stay. It's like you're my personal Illuminati. I know that some might say that I am just a bad girl, but if you treat me right, I will be the best girl in this whole world. No, I'm not gonna bite. I got my hands on your body, so tell me what you want me to do. I can be good or be naughty, because there ain't nobody love you like I do, 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 because there ain't nobody love you like I do.